Three's a crowd. Three's a party coming up on the Fraudcast.
You are now tuned into the Fraudcast, the Deep Dish 90-day podcast. Put them to dive so you don't have to. Addressing the mess behind the eye do's. You are now tuned into the. You are now tuned into the. You are now tuned into the Fraudcast.
You're like, three's a crowd. I'm like, how can we incorporate putting a mint on the pillow? Like minty fresh, double mint.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. Anyways.
Double mint twins?
No.
Would they like twins?
I don't even think they look alike. The only thing that they have in common is, or we're talking about Tarik and Hazel. The only thing common is I think Minty and Hazel are from the same region.
Yeah, I didn't mean them being twins. Double mint is a type of gum, and there was the double mint twins. Oh God, I'm dating myself. There was a commercial way back in the day, and it was like the double mint twins do this and that.
Were they really twins, or they just like to eat gum together?
They were twins. It was part of the shtick for the commercial, right? And it was a whole, like, that's how the whole commercial thing was based on the double mint twins. And they, and they did all these antics or something. I'm going to have to Google it. You guys, those of you who are of a certain age, like my fellow Gen Xers and above, hit me up. Remind me what those commercials were. I'm like,
double mint.
I wasn't trying to say that Minty and Hazel are twins. God, no.
Well, no, I was thinking about Minty.
Right.
The double.
And then I thought of double. You said double mint, and then I thought of double mint twins, and that's where my brain went. And this is why.
Anyway,
this is why I don't do things, as the kids would say in my house.
So where should we start?
Okay, fresh start. We're already into it.
Let's erase the whiteboard.
Okay, Hazel.
Well, what are we drawing on it now?
Well, we'll go back. Let's draw your mint on the pillow, because we need to talk about Hazel and Tarik and what the hell they talking about, because I'm confused. And I think that, while it doesn't take much to confuse me, I think it's worth asking and talking about. Hazel and Tarik, although they're one of the most boring to watch, I swear to God, this is all made up and all whatever. I don't know. It is boring. But are they looking for a girlfriend for Hazel? Or are they looking for a girlfriend for the two of them? Like, are they looking to engage in an open relationship in which Hazel can be married to Tarik, but I'll date her girlfriend? Or are they looking for like a relationship that's like polyamorous, in which the three of them have an interconnected relationship, like a triad? What are they looking for? Because I think they confuse it on the show, or they are intentionally vague about it. Like what's happening? And before we even get into the nonsense that is Tarik going to Minty for advice on how to get a new girlfriend to replace her.
Yeah, all that's confusing me, because they're like feverishly trying to find this third before they even focus on getting themselves married.
Yes, that is a problem.
Right? Because they already have a deadline that they need to be worried about, which is the 90 days. Mm-hmm. So I guess I don't know why they're going for this like thruple right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Hazel's talking about how she wants a best friend.
She wants a sister wife.
But do you want a best friend with benefits? Do you want this to be a threesome, like she has to be in the room when things happen, and things aren't allowed to happen alone unless it's her and her best? I don't understand.
That's what I'm confused about.
But this is one of the things, like if you step into the poly world, they kind of write up their own rules. There's not like a list of requirements. You know what I mean? So if they decided that that's how they wanted it to be, sure. But I just don't understand why this is their priority at the time, when they can't even decide like if they want to get married in a church or not. Just things like that, or finding the perfect dress should be the only thing that, they're feverishly Googling. I don't know. I get wanting to understand the dynamic of the relationship before they get married. I just don't understand why bringing in that's like me going to my ex and going, hey, I haven't been able to find anyone after I left you. Can you help me figure out what I need? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, there's so many things that it's wrong with that. Like, one, Tarik is being completely blind to Hazel's like boundary and request on this issue. Like you said, like people make up their rules, but the rules are very important, right?
I don't think he's being blind. I think he's being a selfish asshole.
Okay. He just
wants an excuse to open up the communication line and speak to Minty with Hazel knowing, so that he can't be accused of communicating with her without Hazel knowing. This is all just a ploy for him to get in contact with her again. It has nothing to do with needing help. You can go to a fucking relationship counselor for that shit.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, Christ, the producers, the cameramen who do this.
The cameramen
would give them better advice. Like, go back on Bearzall and Sean can give you advice. Yeah, like so Hazel has this hard and fast rule, right? She doesn't want Minty and she doesn't want anybody to tie because allegedly the issue is that Tarik speaks Thai, and one of the issues she had with Minty was him and Minty speaking Thai, and she doesn't understand it, so she felt left out.
I can understand that. You want to at least understand if they're talking about something you can't.
That's that's unsubstantiated, but that's what I've heard. So that might be one of the reasons.
It almost feels like she wants a girlfriend for her, and her expectation is that Tarik just allows her to explore her bisexuality, because it's not about him wanting to have multiple women in the bed. I think it's more about her wanting to be fulfilled, but I don't know. That's a sensitive topic, because
right.
For me, I go, you're bisexual. That's great. Unless your partner is along with it. Right. Like that could be something that's a big topic. Do I want you to explore the same sex while we're in a monogamous relationship, or am I opening it up and allowing you to go do that?
Right.
And I'm
Would
okay
he be
with
allowed
it.
to have a girlfriend also, or only a boyfriend? Or is her girlfriend also his girlfriend? Like,
those are major
that's my
questions
question.
You have to answer. Like, and I'm glad that they're talking about it.
That's where I started with this. I don't understand.
I don't think they do either. And if this isn't just for
problematic,
if it's not just for the production, I guess I would hope that they would really have a sit down conversation, because this marriage will go down in flames.
Yeah, because isn't the biggest thing about any kind of open relationship or poly relationship or anything where you need this in regular monogamous couples too, but communication, right? Like that's the biggest thing. You need to communicate your expectations and your roles and all of these things. And those all need to be known ahead of time. And if they don't have those conversations, then it's just going to be bad.
Right. Because it could be a situation where the person says, okay, I'm okay with you doing this, but deep down they're not. That's a problem too.
Right.
So it's icy all around, because the other person who feels like they have to let this person explore that, or else they're going to be unhappy and leave them or not want to be with them anyways. But then it starts eating at them. And then they go, you know what, I actually can't take it. And then, And
I've seen this dynamic actually play out in real life, not on TV, but like real people I know, where like the couple, like one half of the couple cheats and then the other finds out. And then the half that cheated convinces, quote unquote, the partner to have an open relationship. And the other person consents to that because otherwise they're going to lose them, right? And they have to feel like they have to at least try. But
right,
really,
they don't want the relationship to end. But really what's happening is
the one person just wants an excuse to screw whoever they want, which, there's nothing wrong with that if everybody involved consents. But if
Right.
one's
That's why
only
I say there's just so
begrudgingly
many.
consenting,
Right.
if
That's
the
why I'm
one
like, there's so
person-
many dynamics of it
Mhm.
because, and communication is the communication that's honest, and you're just gonna have to hope that that's what you're gonna get,
Right.
If someone says, "Hey, I'm okay with this," and then that's how things go forward, and that person's really not okay with it, then
Then it's
I
not
don't
going to
know.
end well.
It's like it's a whole nother world that
Mhm. But
That's really hard
they're
to
not
explain, like-
addressing any of that. They're not even making it clear what. I mean, and maybe this is because they don't really know, but they're not making it clear what Hazel and Tarik are seeking when they're seeking this quote unquote girlfriend, right?
No, because I think they're trying to make the friction all about their past experience with Minty and Tarik's desire to be in touch with Minty and Hazel not feeling comfortable with it. Like, we're getting to the episode where there's going to be some
Conclusion.
some magical turnaround, some, what do they call it? Dos es machina, where all of a sudden, like we saw with Natalie this episode, I'm okay now, magically, just
Magically.
talk to my friend, and you know what? I'm not jealous anymore.
I totally
and now we can
trust
go
Mike
forward
in
with the
everything that
wedding.
he does, and I have to say that in order to have the wedding to stay here in America.
So I imagine that their turnaround point is going to come soon, and maybe they're just going to decide that that's not what they want to do. Maybe just focus on being married, like, and together for a year or two to see exactly what you want, and not try to make it like it's like a threesome.
Not introducing, not having
threesome,
children,
but a thruple.
Yeah, not having children in the first year or two of your marriage.
Well, he already has a kid, right? So
but
there's
that,
and I assume he's not a weekend dad. So
right, my point
he's gonna have him.
You should maybe focus on the two of you as a couple before you introduce a third into the scenario. Like, focus on establishing your relationship, right? Not saying you should or shouldn't have kids your first year of marriage. That's or before marriage or after marriage.
Yeah, what are you trying to say? Are you judging people that have kids in their first? What the fuck?
I did. Katrina? I was pregnant at my wedding. I mean, come on.
Oh well, then you acted quickly,
right? So, I eloped, and then I got
wait
pregnant.
For the honeymoon.
I eloped, and then I got pregnant, and then I had the big wedding with the family, and everybody thought that was the real wedding, but it wasn't. Actually, I was already married, but I was pregnant at that wedding, my wedding in San Diego that everybody was at.
I have to break away and joke about that because my I don't know what to call her. My will-be mother-in-law had commented on a picture of her father with his wife and their wedding day, the wedding picture. And she goes, "Oh, I wish I could have been there." And her dad said, "You were." And I just...
That's what we tell baby frauded.
You were there. And it's like, oh, but she just found this out at later in adulthood. Your dad drops the bomb that you were.
I was like 11 weeks pregnant at that wedding. Like, it wasn't intended, it wasn't planned, but
it happens. It's not like, oh my God, now it
we had gotten married, like our official wedding, like he had been in Korea, and then story time here for a second. He'd been in Korea. We met up when he was on what's called mid-tour leave, right? And we eloped because he was going to have this whole extension. He was going to be in Korea for 2 years instead of 1. So we said, well, I should go over there, but I can only really go over there to be with him if we're married. So we eloped. He came home in November. We eloped in Vegas. And then he went back to Korea. And then I went over there in January. And basically got pregnant. Like, when I got off the plane, I miscarried and then ended up getting pregnant immediately right away, again with baby frauded. And we'd already been planning this May wedding for a year. So we said we were going to keep having that wedding. And I just ended up being 11 weeks pregnant at that wedding. So there y'all go. No,
a little bit of history, but I mean, we're gonna see it with Yara and Jovi. I'm assuming they're getting married because they're whatever.
Yeah, we saw that. We have their.
They're still together.
Anyways. We have their marriage certificate from. They got married in Vegas. We have their marriage certificate from Clark County, Nevada.
Yay!
Yeah. I posted.
Should we move on to them? I don't know. Is there anything left?
Let's talk about this, and I want to know what people's thoughts, because as an alcoholic and as an alcoholic in recovery, my thoughts on this situation are different because my views of alcohol consumption are not the normal. Like that's part of what makes me an addict is my views on this stuff aren't normal. So I'd love to know what Normie thinks of a situation like this, where Yara is asking Jovi, who the show clearly wants us to think only cares about alcohol. Whether he does or he doesn't, we don't really know because it could be just the way that he's edited, honestly, to focus that storyline. I personally don't have any opinion necessarily on whether he is or isn't have a drinking problem, but because I don't think we've seen enough of his behavior. But she asks him to stop. She clearly has a problem with it. She asks him to stop drinking or to cut down on drinking while she's pregnant. Since she can't drink, he shouldn't be able to drink. So what does a normal person who thinks normally about alcohol consumption think about this situation and that ultimatum?
I mean, ultimatums suck anyways, the whole you can't drink but here and there. I think an approach would probably be like, can you decrease the amount of times that you're drinking? You know, like, and it wasn't just about her being pregnant and not being able to drink, but when you are parenting, you at least want the other parent to be sober. Sometime in the day. I don't really, I mean, we don't really know how often Jovi's drinking or if production's just, handing a White Claw every time they start filming. But yeah, I guess for me, there's that like moment of kind of growing up and knowing when the right time is to indulge in the sinful juice.
So like, I mean, I can see from her point of view, one of her gripes seems to be that he's focused on his friends and partying to the exclusion of her. It's not like if he was paying attention to her and also drinking, I feel like the drinking wouldn't be as much of an issue. But because the drinking is also associated with him not focusing his attention on her and the pregnancy, then that's where it becomes an issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think she rolls up the partying and drinking into one. You know, I guess I would be annoyed if I was left at home all the time because you're out there with the boys partying all the time. That's a common gripe that.
But would she have as much of an issue with his drinking if he was doing it at home with her and drinking the same amount? Say he was drinking the exact same amount as he was with his boys. As like if he's at home with her doing that, would she have as much of an issue with it? With the drinking?
I guess that's a question for her.
That's what I'm wondering.
Right? I don't know. I mean, she could just be annoyed all around with how he behaves when he's drinking. Like if he goes into frat boy mode, yeah, I'd probably be annoyed with him too.
Yeah. Because and she needs I think those are things she needs to figure out, because if it is like the alcohol consumption itself is what's problematic, or if it's the behaviors that are associated with the alcohol consumption. Is she more annoyed that because he drinks, he doesn't pay attention to her, and therefore the root of the problem is that she's not getting the attention from him? Or is the problem that he's drinking all the time, allegedly, and that in and of itself is the problem? Now I'm going
and I mean,
deep,
and
right?
she also mentioned something. It's fine. I know we don't want to go down to does she, because we don't know unless we ask her.
No,
exactly what her problem is.
We get to talk about
but like not being able to think about the future too, as she says, is if you're going to do that, you're hurting your body, so if you're going to be drunk 24/7, you're not thinking about your future. You're not thinking about being there for your child that, it's coming. Okay. So there's like a taking care of yourself aspect of it too.
Sure. Okay.
So I don't know if it's all about the consumption and the amount and the timing, but I think she just wants him to kind of grow the fuck up.
Okay. Fair enough.
You want to have a kid, you need to grow up.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to put myself in her position because, I'm the one that had the problem, and I stopped drinking while I was pregnant, and it hadn't ramped up. My alcoholism hadn't really ramped up as much then, that was 17 years ago, right? Like at that point, I mean, I still had a long way to go in my alcohol progression.
Right, but I mean, they're going to have a turning point with Jovi in this line too, where he's going to be like, "All right, I give up drinking. We'll start doing more with you," and then magically everything's better, and they get married. So I feel like it's just, I really think like it's just a plot, a line
Plot
in the
device.
plot, yeah, to give some kind of friction about the party boy, the free, wild traveling, because he's still traveling. So it's not like that stops, and whatever he does while he's traveling is what he does. But I honestly think it's just a point in their story that gives friction so that they can overcome it and get married and be happy.
Okay.
I honestly, I mean, it's hard because you're viewing a TV show. You really don't know the depths of his quote unquote addiction to alcohol, right? We see him how many times per episode, and just because he's holding a can each time we see him doesn't mean it was all filmed at once and it was chopped up to make it look like he's always carrying a can around the house.
And they're clearly focusing their storyline around this because she's always saying that to him. Why are you always drinking? Why are you always drinking? And it feels like perhaps they're embellishing it somewhat for production purposes.
Yeah. Or he just acts stupid. I mean, because when she was saying, it was a serious romantic dance and he's just kind of like, what's the phrase? 2 sheets of the wind or something like that. and wasn't able to really focus on and be in the moment. I mean, that I think that was kind of, her argument is you're not there. And you made something that was supposed to be super important for us, goofy and stupid. And,
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I've been guilty of doing that, of being that person. So I can see how that could be problematic. Yeah. But like you said, we don't know. I honestly don't know. They did
that with Tanya and Sinjin. Yeah, they did that where it was nonstop. You're drinking. Oh my God, you're drinking. And then behind the scenes, we said they're both drinking. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't. I'm scorned. I can't believe what I see on the screen anymore. I just can't.
Right. Well, I say that multiple
times.
Like,
I know. I say that multiple times. And for folks who are unsure, no, I don't believe 100% of the plot line. That's fine. That's why we're here just talking about it.
Yeah.
And kind of like opening up the door to what may just be for the show and not, Joey running to the bottle every time things get hard.
I think we see that play out a lot with Mike and Natalie because they just talk in circles about the same thing. And then she has her magic turnaround this week where she suddenly trusts him and everything's perfect and fine.
All it took was talking to her friend. She paid money to talk to a therapist. They went to couples therapy and spent money talking to that person. And all it took was really FaceTiming her friend. Mm-hmm. Like that should,
it's
they
just that
saved
easy.
So much money by
just that easy, you guys.
Dial a friend. But she basically was just kind of like, what what do you want? What did Natalie want? We can move on to them.
Okay.
Like, what the hell did she want? Like, I still feel like she's in this world of like, I want Mike to admit that he did something because I think he did. And she even slips when she's talking to her friend and says, I'm jealous. She started saying, I'm jealous. Yeah. And then she stops at, no, I'm not jealous. It's like, yeah, I kind of think you are. You're jealous that he has a friendship with a woman. And maybe to her, that's a sign that, you don't have women friends as a man. I don't know. I think
maybe she's just never been in a position where any male that she has been involved with has had a female friend. But she did say at one point, I want you to admit that you did this. And he's like, but I didn't do it,
Right. But and she's not just accusing Mike. She's accusing the other woman who got married of cheating on her fucking wedding night. Like, if you think of it that way, right? Like, is she going to call her up and say, I know you cheated on your wedding night? Like, just think of it that way.
Yeah.
I it's not just like Mike was there and existed, therefore it happened,
Uh-huh.
But I mean, Mike, the only thing that Mike, I'm pretty sure, wishes he could take back was that he wished he would have at least lied and said I was at a hotel or something. Like,
Oh, I know. That would have
who
been.
would have told on him? Like, that's when guys go, fine, I'm never telling the truth again. And every time she asks him a question, he's never going to tell her the truth again because it's just going to set him off. But magically, she's okay.
Mhm.
And at least in this episode, she's willing to, I don't know, be affectionate and actually touch Mike.
And act like she loves him.
And even he's confused. He goes, yeah, I'm happy with whatever this is. He's like, she's going to murder me tonight. Like, you don't just do a 180 like that.
I know.
Everything's okay.
He should be concerned.
She's going to put him in the oven and stuff him in the peppers. Like,
yeah.
Have you seen her YouTube videos?
No, I didn't watch
Come
them.
on.
I know
her
cooking videos. No, I haven't. I know.
Dude.
I should.
Dude.
I should. I don't like watching videos. I don't know what it is.
What? You watch Fiance?
I know. Well, like I don't like watching videos on the internet. Like we have this joke in our house. How to Life Mate is like I prefer looking at like memes and stuff. Maybe I just don't have the attention span or I don't like to turn the sound on or whatever and have to watch a video. I just like to look at like the one dimension of like a meme or something. So, but he likes videos. So he's always sending me these links and going, oh, you have to watch this. And inevitably it's never as funny as he thinks it is.
Yeah, there's probably different humor there too. All you have to do is open up the video, skip to the middle, and then maybe skip to the end. Watch like 1 minute worth of content. It rolls it all up into what you're going to expect.
Okay.
You can do it, even with boomer tech skills. You can do it.
I'm not a boomer. It's not a tech skills thing. It's just my preference of visual medium coming at me. I don't want visual and auditory all the time. I just want to look.
She just wants that quick and dirty meme.
Quick and dirty. Yeah. So we have this joke in our house now because like he's like, oh, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a video on the internet. Because I'm like, oh, is this another video on the internet you're going to show me? You know, I don't know. Anyway.
See, people know for me to embed it in Discord. Because if I have to go outside of an application, I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want that to be in my Google history. So like, analytics and stuff.
When the FBI goes and looks at my computer after I die to like see.
No, they're going to find that you Googled all kinds of things to see if you can prove what was in your murder mysteries. You're like, can cyanide really kill if added in ice cream?
Right.
Like, they're going to think you were trying to kill Hetero Life Mate this whole time.
And in reality, I'm the one that's going to die.
What does antifreeze actually taste like? And can I add it to my
Is it
ice
really
cream
does
novelties?
Gatorade really cover the taste of arsenic? Yeah, and I when I die, I have to have an episode of Dateline, and it has to be hosted by Keith Morrison. Those are my rules.
Are you expecting to have a gruesome death?
I don't know. I mean, if I die before it's my time.
Like, is your Frauded by TLC antics going to catch up with you?
I don't know. That's going to be part of that Keith Morrison's going to have to find out. He's going to have to investigate and sit down. He's going to talk to you. He's going to talk to.
I'll be like, I don't know her. We weren't friends. Didn't you read the reviews? I don't know that bitch. Anyways.
Oh my God, I'm dying. All right. Anyway.
What else happened in this episode?
Stephanie got Harris.
Oh yeah, she called up number 2.
Go
the backup
by boat and by bus.
That sounds like a song from the 80s.
I know, right? She called him because she needed a good solid deep decking.
No.
And he called him and he traveled 6 hours by boat and by bus to come and get her pussy.
No, oh God, so vulgar. All I can think about is her, like, you know how the Batman symbol would shine to the sky?
Uh-huh.
I imagine she just has like an eggplant emoji. And then he knows instantly Harris is like, it is my time to come.
Literally.
And save the day. But yeah, she calls him up and
yeah.
Oh my God. You know what I noticed too? Like, I don't know how long she was staying there, but I I thought that was her house for a quick second, like she was back home because she had all her shit everywhere.
She did. It was like
when
upstairs, downstairs. Like
when
she
you
had
travel,
moved
do you
in.
unpack that?
She moved in. She moved.
That's
the
her
fuck
house
in.
now. I was like, holy shit. I was like, I think about like how much time it'll take to pack all that up. I'm like, no wonder you couldn't find anything when you're frantically running around. She's basically just like, I have all this stuff here. You want to, if you come by boat, plane, train, you can have all of the Nike slip-ons that I have here, socks. What else does she have?
Watches. Does she have
watches?
A couple of the watches probably? And yeah, she convinces him to stay with her while her remaining days in Belize. Because that seems like a completely smart and appropriate decision for someone to make when they just had a fight with their.
It's good for the tell-all.
Fiance.
That won't happen. I guess it'll be good for Bearsall. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Yeah, don't know. I mean, we already saw Harris on Bearsall, so
yeah, but I mean, there's going to be more to unpack now.
They're going to have to get Harris and Stephanie and Ryan all together on one. Like, not obviously, they're not going to be on one screen, but they got to get the three of them together. Like they had it when Harris was on Bearsall before. Ryan got up and walked out, didn't he? Or he was on the TV too. No, he logged off. He wasn't going to be around to watch Ryan or watch Harris. God, I'm getting
Ryan didn't want to be around to watch Harris talking about.
Thank you. What you said.
Yeah. But at the end, I mean, like even Harris was a little dodgy towards his responses, probably because they couldn't really say too much, but like there's just a whole clusterfuck of a mess. At
that point, we didn't know that he was going to come back again.
Right. We thought that she just slept with him because
the one time
something happened. And it seems like he's always on her mind when shit happens. So
yeah.
I guess reliable.
And I guess that one of the previews or something, we see her saying to him, like, maybe, do you want to come to America? Or wasn't.
Ooh.
So something.
See, previews is when I log off. Since it's not part of the show anymore. It's like the Zoom call when they're like, okay, thank you for coming.
Click. Bye. Bye. You're not sticking around.
When the call is over, I leave. That's kind of how I feel, but I had joked about that before, right? Where now she's really with Harris and he's the one that she's going to be bringing to the United States instead.
You did say that.
Yeah. No, let's see if my prediction holds.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, she would have to go through the whole K1 process again with him.
Yeah, but I mean,
not like she has the thing and she can just transfer it. It's not transferable from Ryan to Harris.
Could you believe it though? I'd be like, oh, you have the wrong name on there. It's not Ryan, it's Harris.
Ryan Harris.
Can we correct that?
He can pretend to be Ryan on entering.
Right. I don't even know if I don't know how many chances she has. I thought, well, maybe it's not once it goes all the way through. She's like, oh yeah, we have to cancel the visa process. Like, they're not gonna let you like cancel and then just start up a new one. They're gonna be like, hey, calm down.
It's gonna be like Rebecca.
You need
the one guy over on the spousal visa and then another. You only get like a certain lifetime amount of them. You
can't run through them. And I question, why is it taking so long anyways? She's like 3 years. Is she like?
He already had the visa. He just couldn't get there. It was something they said in the beginning, how he couldn't fly there because like the borders were closed. Like she could, I don't know.
I get understand. That, but she also says they've been dating for 3 years. So I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense to, I guess it makes sense if you're trying to see.
Doesn't that go along with what Ryan had said on one of the Bearsall episodes where he had said all of his friends had gotten lucky and that they got to the United States quickly?
Well, that's what I'm comparing is like, was she just waiting? I mean, because people don't like to wait forever. It gets a little tiring. So
because she thinks it's a real relationship. So
yeah, well, we'll see who she decides to bring. If she decides on anybody, I see her just like going home and maybe doing other stuff like giveaways or something. Sorry, I'm in a mood. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all we got for today.
I think so too.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I want to give a shout out to our newest patrons for the Patreon, that Heather and Yvonne. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to join us over on the Patreon, it is patreon.com/thefraudcast. Currently, we are talking about Bears All, and I think we're going to add the single life to that also as well. Start doing some episodes of that.
You really want to torture me, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make you watch Muhammad's apology to
Dude looks so
Danielle,
uncomfortable.
and
He looks so uncomfortable.
We can discuss whether it's genuine or not. So that's happening over on the Patreon. And if you guys are liking what you're hearing, if you could make sure to rate, review, and subscribe, that would be really fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. We are the Fraudcast, and we're dumpster diving so you don't have to.